Listen closely now, my child. Often people do not perceive they are acting contrary to my intentions until difficulties begin to surface in their lives. By then, my quiet strength has already set things in motion in ways they could not perceive. You never sought conflict, yet the unseen world acted decisively to uphold you. Consider this truth, my beloved child. Throughout time, those I hold close have often seemed unremarkable to others. This allows the arrogant to expose their true nature through their actions, while those under my care can proceed unhindered and without straying. This very sequence repeats whenever anyone attempts to block the path of one I have selected. This is precisely what happened in your situation. Others saw you as mild, reserved, perhaps even modest, distinct, too serene, too inwardly focused, mere descriptions used by those who do not comprehend. They did not perceive the holy protection surrounding you. This safeguard not only keeps you safe, but also affects anyone who presumes to overstep it. And is it not telling, my precious one, that those who once dismissed you now find unease in your recollection, discomfort from their interactions, and disturbance in your nearness? This is no accident. It is the inevitable result of the choices they made. Therefore, grasp this truth fully, my child. This communication provides more than solace. It reveals a profound truth. It is about making reality plain. We will now examine precisely why they failed to comprehend who they truly stood against until they interfered with something they had no right to touch. First, they confused your inner peace for frailty until they encountered the subtle strength you possess without needing to declare it. They misinterpreted your quietness as powerlessness. Because your actions diverged from their expectations, you refrained from challenging their statements, exposing their flaws, or descending to their level. From their narrow viewpoint, this signified you possessed no power. Yet they did not grasp that your quietude was not yielding. You were not mute from an inability to speak. You were silent because words were not required. Your essence itself conveyed much, and they lacked the inner discernment to perceive it. They mistook modesty for powerlessness. They assumed that because you shunned contention, you could not hold your ground. Because you did not praise yourself, you must be of little worth. But this is the consequence when individuals act from their own exaggerated self-importance. They conclude that anyone who is not vocal must be faltering. However, my child, you were not pursuing victory in a minor disagreement. You were upholding your stand in a conflict unseen by them. What they overlooked is this, my beloved. Genuine power does not announce itself. It does not seek validation from others. It has no need to demonstrate anything. You had no need to exhibit my blessing upon you, for your very life already made it evident. You had no need to prove your endurance, for your ongoing presence already affirmed it. The very fact that you did not react as they wished was your reply. That was your indication. When they disregarded that sign and continued their provocations, they eventually grasped the truth. That is, when occurrences they could not account for began to manifest. Individuals began to distance themselves. Their intentions faltered. Calmness left their days. They often thought of you, sensing unease about their deeds, and then it became unmistakably evident. You were not one to be trifled with. You were not merely another individual. You were under my care, safeguarded, sent forth with a specific aim. That is what truly disturbed their peace. Not what you said, but your spiritual position. You did not respond externally because it was unnecessary. You understood your identity through me, and now they understand it as well. But it required them to trespass that holy boundary, to comprehend that often those who bear the greatest strength are the most still, not out of apprehension, but because I uphold them. Second, they failed to realize they were defying my authority, not simply a single person. They imagined they were merely facing you, an individual among many. What they did not comprehend is that by opposing you, they were in fact opposing the entire spiritual reality that sustains you. They were not merely uttering disparaging words, circulating untrue tales, or devising hidden schemes. They were, without knowing it, sparking a spiritual contention against something vastly beyond their grasp. For you are not simply one who navigates the world with a gentle manner and sound principles. You are one who carries my divine instruction. You are not merely favored, you are given meaning by me. This signifies that any attempt to stand against you is not just an opposition to a human being. It is a challenge to the very plan I formed and sent into existence through you. Consequently, those who treat you poorly seldom thrive without end. Hardships begin for them, and they cannot understand the reason. Their bonds fray, their chances diminish, and they begin to feel inwardly diminished. It is not mere ill fortune. It is a reaction from the spiritual domain they dishonored. For spiritual resistance is not always overt. Sometimes it is understated. It is an invisible consequence, not vengeance, but realignment. They believed they were simply participating in trivial interactions. Your bond with me meant I viewed their deeds as an offense because of your significance to me. You are not just a single presence among countless others. You are a particular task I have dispatched. You are an instrument for my purpose. Their attempts to diminish, disregard, or direct you were, unbeknownst to them, interfering with a holy intention. And within the spiritual arrangement, that is not allowed. There are repercussions when one interferes with a person under my safeguarding. They considered it insignificant, but they did not comprehend the genuine cost entailed. They did not realize that as they operated from their exaggerated self-importance, you moved with my genuine might. Authentic holy power that does not need to raise its voice or exhibit overt might to convey its presence. It simply is. And when the gravity of their deeds finally rested upon them, they understood they were not striving against an individual. They were striving against an influence, an entire spiritual truth, my essence operating within you. So know, my cherished one, you did not desire their detriment. You did not retaliate. You did not make a move. But I did. For when someone tries to interfere with a divine intention, it is not you they are challenging. It is against the one who sent you forth, and such confrontations always end with the same clear outcome. Third, your spirit possesses an intimacy with me they will never attain, and that is what troubles them currently. There are particular traits you hold that cannot be replicated, imitated, or even completely articulated. One of these is your connection to the unseen world through me. The profound connection you share with me, my beloved, is not gained by wealth, academic pursuit, or striving for others' approval. It is something I established within your spirit before your existence on this earth ever commenced. My child, those who opposed you simply did not grasp the depth of your bond with me. Their gaze stopped at what was visible. Your calm nature, your inner firmness, your constant devotion, and they wrongly believed this was the sum of who you are. They could not discern the sacred understanding I placed within you, which was never for them to see. My beloved, your place by my side is not a claim of superiority over others. It comes purely from my decision and my unwavering presence with you. The path you have walked has prepared you for a unique closeness with me, a bond that most will struggle to understand. My child, when some individuals sought to impose themselves upon your life with ill will, they encountered obstacles. This was not a result of your actions, my precious one. Rather, they trespassed a sacred limit I had put in place for your protection. There are always repercussions for stepping into a space where one does not belong. What truly puzzles them now, my beloved one, is the deep calm you held through all their attempts. You felt no need to justify yourself. You did not react as they expected. Your steady, peaceful way showed them your true standing, and this disturbs them because they now see they could not disrupt it. They perceived you as an ordinary individual, yet you are connected to a force that brings about change and renewal. They remained blind to your profound connection with the invisible until the events in their own lives began to show the impact of their meddling. They tried to label you based on what was obvious, but what resides within you cannot be grasped by human reasoning. It belongs to the spirit. Now, they finally comprehend this truth. They have witnessed how doors of possibility open for you while remaining closed to others, how burdens lighten for you after trials that would overwhelm many, how your very essence holds weight even from afar. This is not coincidence, my cherished one. This is the special favor I have bestowed upon you. Those who sought to hinder you now encounter their own difficulties because when you advance with my support, you are not simply living your own existence. You bear a purpose far grander than yourself, and those who fail to recognize your value are just now realizing they were never meant to obstruct your journey. My child, they fixed their attention on your external presentation and completely missed the truth of your spirit. They assessed you based on outward appearances, your attire, your words, your background, your belongings, the people you associated with. From their narrow perspective, this seemed to be all the information they needed. They were certain they understood you completely. They saw you as ordinary, simple to label, easy to disregard. What they did not comprehend was their attempt to measure something eternal with fleeting standards. Such a method is always mistaken. Their focus was so locked on your past that they completely overlooked the very reason I brought you forth. They examined your outer shell while ignoring your fundamental nature. In doing so, they failed to recognize the most vital part of you, the aspect hidden from their view. For the truth is, my beloved one, you did not come into their world to amuse, to conform, or to seek anyone's acceptance. Yet they could not comprehend this because it did not align with their notion of how true impact should manifest. They expected someone chosen would appear refined, powerful, rich, vocal, or openly pious. Instead, you simply showed up as your authentic self, and that revealed the shortcomings in their own insight. Therefore, they sought to lessen your importance, mock you, and deem you insignificant, for they possessed no inner vision to discern your true place. What is remarkable at this moment, my child, is that the very characteristics they once derided are the indicators that now cause them distress. They dismissed your calm demeanor, but now they struggle to find peace within themselves. They disregarded your journey, yet now they observe you from afar. You did not have to alter anything. You merely held fast to the direction I provided, and with the passage of time, your authentic calling became evident. You did not need to speak. The unfolding of your life itself showed the deep difference. You were not ostentatious. You were simply existing as I intended, and that began to alter all things. They were unable to see your genuine worth because their spiritual awareness was not trained to look past what was apparent. And now, my cherished one, this failure to see is costing them far more than they ever conceived. They did not understand that I know you completely, my child, but now the hidden powers of shadow also acknowledge you. For a long period you lived humbly, attracting little notice. You were not loud or seeking praise, nor did you try to make a name for yourself. You were simply concentrating on what truly counted, developing, gaining wisdom, heeding my direction, abiding near me, even when unseen by all. This led most to believe you were just an ordinary individual. They did not realize that your years spent out of public view were not lost time, my beloved child. They were seasons of preparation directed by my hand. My knowledge of your true identity existed long before anyone else's. However, the instant they chose to stand against you, the precise moment they sought to meddle with what I had already consecrated, that is when conditions started to change. The moment they acted with ill will towards you, they unintentionally drew you to the complete awareness of the unseen world. What was concealed became visible. What was unclear became evident. And while they continued to see you as unimportant and simple to control, the powers of darkness began to hesitate, because they recognized your genuine purpose. Their resistance became the exact way you were brought into the light. You did not strike back with sharp words, but your lasting strength, your firm refusal to give in, and your spiritual standing spoke with more power than anything they said against you. Now the invisible realm of shadows is completely conscious of who you are. Powers that previously observed from a distance now disperse at your approach. You were once a potential concern. Now you are a recognized force within the unseen realm. Why? Because you did not falter. You did not deviate from your course despite the turmoil they caused. You remained steadfast, and by that very act, unveiled the authentic essence you possess. They failed to perceive that their attempts to injure you would only underscore my protection surrounding you. Yet that is precisely what occurred. I had already set you apart. Now the darkness understands this too. That is why your challenges have grown more intense, yet also more frantic. That is why the hidden struggle feels more severe. This is because you have ceased to be merely a subtle presence. You have been called into active service. You have transformed into the exact individual they dreaded you would be. They once tried to treat you as if you were no different from anyone else. Now they confront the reality that your authentic self is recognized in spiritual domains, and there, you are perceived differently. Some welcome this shift, others feel a deep unease. What they intended to use to cause you pain, my beloved child, actually served as valuable instruction for you, and you moved through it with a quiet strength you barely noticed. They were certain they were bringing about your downfall. Every untruth they spoke, every attempt to shame you, every scheme to see you fall, they saw as their victory. They believed they were weakening your inner resolve, my child, thinking they had trapped you or broken your spirit. But what they did not grasp, my beloved, is that they possessed no true power over where your path would lead. What they wished to use for your hurt, I had already shaped into a way for your growth. Every trial they set in your way was in truth an opening for your soul to ascend, and you met each one with a quiet dignity. When sorrow settled heavily on you, my precious child, that was a chance to deepen your trust in the still voice inside you. When people pulled away, it was to test if you would abandon your true path, chasing their acceptance. When those close to you caused anguish, it was to show your ability to keep your inner peace, even through suffering. Their attempts, meant to shatter you, were truly making you stronger. As they tried to lessen your impact in the world, they were, in truth, revealing your authentic being to the unseen places. You were not crumbling. You were being shown in your true nature. Their actions did not lay bare your weaknesses. They called forth the profound strength dwelling within you. I witnessed their conduct toward you, my cherished one, and many others, beyond their awareness, also took notice. Both bright spirits and hidden watchers saw your journey unfold. Their behavior showed a truth they wished to overlook, that even in their most difficult moments, You neither gave in nor reflected their harshness. You consistently chose a higher way. This was not because their actions had no effect, but because the truth living inside you would not allow you to stoop to their level. This shows not a weakness, but a deep inner unfolding. They believed they dictated your course, my beloved one, yet I employed their own endeavors to uplift you, completely beyond their comprehension. Every obstacle they placed became a firm footing for your advance. Every trap they set became a time when your inner resolve shone clear. And while they celebrated what they saw as your collapse, the unseen world quietly recognized your rise. You knew not the full extent of the tests, yet you moved through them with remarkable poise. That is what disturbs them now. The one they sought to diminish instead unveiled an inner being they were utterly unready to encounter, not broken, not resentful, but refined by trials. They understood you wrongly, my child, because their own inner selves had not gone through the necessary shaping. Their inability to grasp did not come from a lack of earthly knowledge. Many among them, in fact, have sharp minds, are educated, articulate, and navigate social situations with skill by human standards. But quick thinking does not grant spiritual sight. What was missing in them was the deep inner path required to truly perceive a spirit refined by internal battles. Thus, upon meeting you, they were unable to genuinely comprehend your essence. And what a limited view cannot understand, it tries to manage or dismantle. Your very presence unsettled them, and they could not pinpoint why. You were not challenging. You did not invite conflict. Still, something about your very existence disturbed their ease. That something was the silent grace that rested upon you. Your mere existence illuminated what lay concealed within their own spirits. This occurred not due to any judgment from you, my precious one, but because you simply did not conform to their expectations. And that plain refusal revealed what they believed they had kept private. You did not need to give warnings or make grand statements. Your peaceful inner state caused their own inner turmoil to surface, which is why their first response was to pull away from you. Spirits that have not experienced inner refinement can only judge what is visible on the outside. They depend on surface qualities, external appearance, prior events, and visible actions. But they cannot perceive spiritual depth, for that requires a wisdom they have not yet reached. They observed you and perceived no extraordinary qualities. What stayed concealed from them were the many inner battles you won simply to stand in calm serenity. They did not see the lonely nights of sincere searching, the grief you bore without growing cold, the inner purification you underwent without any onlookers or applause. That is what forged your spiritual might. Not external honors or agreeable ways, but quiet, steady dedication in your private times. And because their inner sight was unpracticed for this, they saw you as a difficulty rather than a wellspring of understanding. My child, you have listened closely, and your spirit has heard the deep truth I have spoken. This is not by chance. Your heart yearns for understanding, and I always answer those who truly seek my light. I call you now, my beloved, to step fully into the identity I have revealed to you. Do not let these words become mere echoes. Let them ignite the quiet strength within you. Imagine the peace that deepens, the clarity that expands, as you continue to walk in the purpose I have set for you. This is your assignment: to stand firm in the knowledge that your worth and power come from me alone. For you are not alone in this journey. You are part of my faithful remnant, those who carry my light in a world that often misunderstands it. If this message has resonated with your spirit, let it resonate again. Share this message with those who need to hear, those who also seek vindication and understanding. For your act of sharing becomes a sacred work, extending my truth to weary souls. Return to me, my precious one, for deeper understanding. Know that I am ever present, unfolding more of my plan and my protection over you. As you embrace these truths, my peace will settle upon you, a shield against all that seeks to disturb your calm. Go forth, my child, knowing you are deeply cherished, eternally protected, and purposefully empowered. My favor rests upon you always.